In honor of SSH's 10-year anniversary today, I am releasing a video on the history of SSH. I want to thank all the people that contributed to the Nitro Wiki on information regarding SSH, as well as Volatile for taking the time to answer my questions that I had and verifying all the information I am presenting today is accurate and true. On November 28, 2014, Volatile and her friend were wondering who was the fastest typist. Her friend did a Google search for a typing game and came across the Nitro Type website. They both created an account to find out. However, about 2 weeks later, Volatile wanted to have a team that her friends could join and have fun on, and that is when SSH was created. These friends later would become inactive and would be kicked from the team to make room for more active members. Shell Riders, or SSH, was created by Volatile on December 11, 2014. The team tag SSH was selected because Volatile and her friends are nerds. SSH is an acronym standing for Secure Shell Protocol, which is a method for securely sending commands to a computer over an unsecured network. The team name of Shell Riders was selected because it is a play on words that Volatile and her friends came up with since they both worked for shell companies at the time. I believe most people think the shell part of the name comes from seashells, but in reality it refers to a jailed shell, which is a restricted shell environment that limits the user to a specific directory for security purposes. Our team currently has an alliance with AGNCY and Source. Volatile said that she allied with these teams because their captains share the same NT ethics that she has: play fair and have fun. In the early years of SSH before the season started, the team wasn't very competitive, but they stayed in the top 15. The team was mostly used for friend racing in the first few months. Once the seasons began, the team only ranked 6th place in Season 0.5, then dropped out of top 10 to rank 13 in Season 1. They moved up slightly in Season 2 to 12th place. Volatile was racing on her alt, Carly Jo, whom was an officer on Team Dog during this time, which might explain why SSH dropped in rankings, to raise Nitro Type cash by winning competitions in order to pay out prizes to her own team. She concentrated a lot of her efforts on racing on her alt. After a while of this happening, there ended up being some silly old drama, as Volatile puts it, between Dog and SSH, and Carly Jo left Dog and she began focusing her efforts on SSH. The team began moving up in rankings as they were ranked 7th in Season 3 and 5th in Season 4. Near the end of Season 4, Volatile gave out her first Nitro Gold membership. This is when she began her Season Gold contest, to which she awards the top 2 or 3 non-gold members on the team for their exceptional racing. This would later lead to her being given a custom title, Mama Tile, by the admins to recognize her for the amount of Nitro Gold membership she had given away and continues to give away still today. The team ranked 3rd during Season 5 and 6. During Seasons 7 through 9, the team ranked 5th. In Season 10, the captain of Dog, I Dig Dogs, announced that their team would no longer be competing in seasons except for the summer and winter events. This caused many Dog members to join SSH. A comment on the Nitro Wiki says that at the time someone counted as many as 13 Dog members that had joined SSH that could easily be identified as they had changed their name to include their former team, but there may have been more. By the end of Season 10, SSH had moved up to 3rd place. In Season 11, SSH placed 2nd behind NTA by 1,236,272 points. Season 11 was said to have been a very competitive season. It was believed by the community that NTA had been cheating by having a bot on their team that generated over 1.3 million points, which, if subtracted from NTA's points, would have given SSH their first season win. Volatile said that it was super hard to keep the team motivated when they had so many seasons in a row stolen by bots. In Season 12, SSH beat NTA by over 3 million points, giving the team their first season win. The team was awarded the champion team title along with 3 million Nitro Type cash. The team had 6 out of the top 10 players along with 26 total players that had placed in the top 100, which was 52% of the people on the team. Volatile believes that SSH could have won a season sooner, but botting was rampant during this time and many seasons were stolen from them. SSH beat NTA again in Season 13 by over 1.4 million points, making them the second team to win more than one season in a row. SSH won Season 14 by nearly 4 million points, and they also won Season 15 by 3 million points. Approximately 2 weeks before Season 16 ended, Wildflower announced that she would be leaving NTA and join SSH shortly after. This began the wave of the core players of NTA leaving to join SSH, as a week later Tracy, Classic General, and Chip left NTA to join SSH as well. As a result, SSH had 8 out of the 10 top players that season, but they also broke a record for the highest point deficit between two teams at the end of the season by beating NTA by an astounding 8.6 million points. This smashed the previous record by 3 million points, previously set by WFS or Wild Fantastics against NTA in Season 8. Season 16 would become known as one of SSH peaks as a team, where they would have had the resources and manpower to affect both number 1 and number 2 spots, as seen in previous seasons by teams such as Chess and Kitty. During the back-to-school event of 2018, SSH beat KNC or Night Central by over 7 million points. This was even with a few of SSH members putting their alt accounts on Chess in order to help them beat NTA, to make it the first time that NTA would rank outside of the top 3. In Season 17, the team finished first against NTA. They broke the record for the highest point difference between two teams yet again, which 14,209,199 point difference between SSH and NTA. The team also set the record for the most points in a season with 25,791,239 points. In Season 18, SSH placed first by less than 2 million points. The second place team had been using a controversial tactic by using guest racer races to speed up race loading times. In Season 19, SSH broke 2 records. They broke the record for the most points in a season with over 31 million points, which passed the previous record set by SSH in Season 17 by roughly 5.5 million points. They also broke the biggest lead, being 14,890,152 points ahead of Please. In Season 20, SSH placed first ahead of Iran by over 12 million points. In Season 21, SSH's win streak was finally broken by Sin. SSH was overtaken in the final days of the season by less than 750,000 points. Both teams surpassed the previous point record set in Season 19 of 31,505,151 points. This loss to Sen broke the spirit within the team due to the ethics that Sen used to defeat SSH. Sen had been recruiting SSH team members by offering them huge amounts of Nitro Type cash via DMs to switch teams, recruiting friends from other typing games, and account sharing with them around the clock on several accounts. After what happened in Season 21, SSH began to drop in their season placement down to 3rd place in Season 22 and 2nd place in Season 23 by only 600,000 points. In Season 24, SSH rose up once again to claim 1st place, crushing the 2nd place team IC9 by almost 9 million points. In Season 25, SSH began off strong, going back and forth with TBZ until shortly into the season TBZ began pulling ahead by a significant margin. By the end of the season, TBZ had over 8 million more points than SSH. In Season 26, Dog had finally built up the strength after the team had went inactive again to win the season. SSH placed 3rd this season behind TBZ by 1.3 million points. In Season 27 and 28, SSH placed 6th place. This season is where Shark dominated the leaderboards, followed by Talk, RR1, TBZ, and DSNT. DSNT's captain was accused by many people of accepting botters onto the team, so if this was true, SSH would have potentially placed higher that season. In Season 29, SSH once again placed outside of the top 3 in 4th place, only 777,999 points behind NYM, led by I Love You to the Moon. At this point, the team leaderboard history from Season 30 until Season 35 is not available. On January 10, 2021, Nitro Type replaced the leaderboards with the top teams in the last 7 days, which was right before Season 31. On August 21, 2021, Nitro Type released a hidden team season leaderboard API link, which was not realized until the following season and potentially resulted in the results of Season 35 not being archived. It was during this time that the dark ages of Nitro Type began, as players began to realize that Nitro Type weren't being as aggressive to ban players botting, and they took advantage of that. The botting teams began to take over the 7-day top team leaderboard, and it would progressively get worse with time. In Season 26, SSH placed 6th behind TBZ, PR2W, Nate, and Rebels. The top 2 teams from this season were definitely cheating by allowing bots on their team. SSH placed 5th in Season 37 as the problems with the team's botting continued. In Season 38, SSH placed 7th behind Rebels, ELV, Nate, PR2W, Voxed, and Talk. In Season 39, SSH dropped to 20th place behind SECT, Rebels, Nate, PR2W, and IBM. The team's motivation to race had dropped significantly after continuing to watch the bots take over the 7-day top team leaderboard. In Season 40, our allies, AGNCY, along with some of our top grinders such as Craze, It's Pickles, Mighty, just to name a few, initiated a mission called Operation 10T. Their goal was to get SSH back into the top 10 as we had fallen out of the top 50 teams at this point, which I believe was probably the lowest point for the team ever in its history. They were successful in getting SSH back into the top 3 in the last 7 days within less than 2 weeks. SSH finished in 7th place that season behind ZL, Rebels, IBM, WAMS, FTU, and some deleted team. In Season 41, SSH placed 5th behind ZL, Rebels, ACXA, and ACX. If it wasn't for the botting teams, SSH might have placed 1st that season. In Season 42, SSH placed 10th. The information is missing for Season 43. Season 44 is when the top team leaderboard really started to be overtaken with bots. SSH placed 14th that season. The records between Season 45 and 50 have not found to have been archived. In Season 50, SSH placed 22nd. In Season 51, SSH placed 37th. And in Season 52, SSH placed 34th. In Season 53, SSH placed 1st once again. This is finally the season that the legitimate teams rose again to the top as Nitro Type finally took a stance against botting and did a major ban wave of banning over 2,000 accounts on May 14, 2024. In Season 54, SSH placed 1st again according to the NT leaderboard, although if you look at the results in NT comps, it shows that PR2W passed the team in the final hours of the season. Overall, SSH has won at least 15 seasons since the team's creation 10 years ago, but the exact number of seasons wins were never tracked. There were 11 seasons wins recorded on the Nitro Type wiki from when Nitro Type had an official leaderboard built into the site, and I believe the team has won a few more times since that was removed, while I, TheDestroyist, have been a member of the team. Without a doubt, I think it is fair to say that SSH is the team that has won the most seasons in the history of Nitro Type. I believe part of this comes from the team's biggest winning streak of 10 straight season wins between Season 12 and Season 20. SSH also has the most team races on Nitro Type with over 9.4 million races. We were the first team to reach the Legend League. It is difficult to know who has the most team views in the site due to someone botting views on PR2W, but I'd like to believe that SSH likely holds that record as well since our team is 6 years older than PR2W. SSH is the 3rd oldest active team behind SWF, which was created 181 days before SSH. SSH also places 4th on the most races per day with 2,579 races. As you have heard throughout this video, SSH has accomplished and been through a lot in the past 10 years. It is thanks to all of our dedicated and loyal team members and officers that have poured their spirit and soul into the team. It would have never been possible without our super awesome, fantastic team captain Volatile for creating this team for her friends 10 years ago today. I know there's probably someone out there that cringed to all those SSH puns, but let's be honest, would it be an SSH video without some? When I asked Volatile what the future holds for the team, she only mentioned another 10 years. So happy 10-year anniversary SSH. This cake was created by a friend of the team and represents everyone that has ever been on SSH since we've had stats for the team. The larger the name appears, the more races they have done on the team. Fun fact, SSH has had 5,813 people on the team from 165 different countries in the last 6 years or so. Anyways, that is all I have for the video today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to continue seeing all of my future content and being made aware of any future giveaways on this channel.